Hello, Travis Simlinger here from Progressive Coaching in Zurich, Switzerland. And today I'm continuing on with the playlist on values and rules. And I'll link to that playlist up here somewhere because all of the videos are in sequential order. So you really need to watch each video to understand because they all build upon each other. And what we did in the last session is we looked at the criteria for self-serving rules for your moving away from pain values. And I spent the majority of the session kind of really going into detail about rules that don't fit the criteria and the reasons why they don't fit the criteria. Okay, so in this session, I'm going to present rules that do fit the criteria and the reason that they are self-serving rules. So I'm going to share my screen. It will all make sense once I bring up the slides and we'll get straight into it. So the criteria is there on the screen, criteria for self-serving rules that we covered in the previous session. So let's formulate some examples. Let's imagine one of your top moving away from pain values is shame. Okay, here is an example of a self-serving rule for shame. I consistently avoid feeling shame by living my life according to my values, by treating all people with respect, including myself, by refusing to engage in behaviors or activities which would lead me to feel ashamed, by forgiving myself for past mistakes and continuously learning and growing and loving myself. All of these fit the criteria. They are all within our control. The second rule there, second criterion, they make it hard to feel bad and easy to feel good. And number 3 here in the criteria for self-serving rules, number 3, these rules importantly help you to be the person that you want to be. And remember, this is just an example. You want to create your rules to help you be the person that you want to be. And I think this last rule, help you to be the person you want to be, is very important. So let's speak about it for just a moment. Because I'm not advocating in any way, to suppress our emotions. I know it says here, rules I consistently avoid. It says avoid feeling shame, avoid feeling the emotion. But I want to make a distinction here because there is a huge difference between avoiding staying in a negative emotion, which is what I'm advocating. I'm saying don't stay in the negative emotion, avoid staying in the negative emotion. And that's self-serving. But I'm not advocating to avoid the message that an emotion is there to give you. I'm not advocating avoiding the message and suppressing an emotion. That would be self-defeating. Because emotions, we can think of emotions as action signals. Okay, emotions are action signals. They are extremely useful to guide us to what's working and what is not working in our life. So could we feel shame if we violated one of our rules here? Yes, we could. And that is a good thing because this pain is an action signal to us that we are doing something that is not in line with the standards that we have set for ourselves. If we disrespect someone to a high enough degree, for example, we can feel ashamed of that according to our rules. It says that by treating all people with respect. If we violate one of our rules, we're going to feel pain. Okay, but importantly, our rules also ensure that we don't stay in the shame. We don't stay in the pain. We don't stay there. We don't stay in an emotion of shame and become stagnant and stay stuck in a negative emotion. We avoid doing that. That is what the avoid is talking about. That's a massive difference. Because look at the last rule here. Rules I consistently avoid feeling shame by. And the last rule says there, I avoid feeling shame by forgiving myself for past mistakes and continuously learning and growing and loving myself. So learning and growing from our mistakes so that we don't continuously make the same mistake again and again. So with these rules, we consistently avoid feeling shame by living how we want to live. And if we do something to violate one of our rules, we don't wallow in negativity. We forgive ourselves and we learn and we grow and we become a better person because of it. This is a self-serving rule. Let's do one more example. So this time the example is overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. And maybe the person's original rules were something like, I feel overwhelmed whenever I have a lot to do and not enough time. Or I feel overwhelmed whenever I have a problem that has many different elements, many moving parts. This leads me to feel overwhelmed. And this would, of course, if we look at our criteria for self-serving rules up here, these would be out of our control. They would make it easy to feel bad, as most problems have a lot of moving parts or at least multiple elements to them. And I'm guessing then a stressed out and overwhelmed person is possibly not the person you want to be. Criterion 3 there. So how do we form a self-serving rule to avoid getting stuck in this negative emotion? I consistently avoid feeling overwhelmed by recognizing the early signs of discomfort and knowing that this is an action signal that I'm trying to deal with too many things at once. So we catch it early. Kill the monster while it's small. See, so this is not suppressing emotions. This is the opposite. We pay attention to the emotion. Or as I said, I call the emotion the action signal. We pay attention to the action signal. I'm feeling some discomfort. What is that about? And then we get the message and we do something about it. So that we don't get to the level of overwhelm, which is a paralyzing emotion if we stay in it. So what do we do about it? Well, we have many different options, and I've put some in here as some rules so I can shift my focus. It's an action signal. I'm trying to do it. I shift my focus. Yep. So am I so zoomed in on the problem that it is all I can see? What would happen if I zoomed out a bit, saw the big picture? Is this problem really that important? What is actually more important than this problem? Okay, I shift my focus, change my physiology, so I can change my physiology. Can I change my state by going for a walk, or can I change my state by box breathing for 2 minutes to achieve, to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, calm down a little, and then reevaluate when I have a clearer headspace, or whatever works for you. Can you go to the gym? Can you go for a run? This is all about changing the physiology. Maybe you were not overwhelmed. Maybe you're just hungry. Maybe you just need to stop working and eat something. Many options, and we can stack these options. Okay, we can do one thing or we can do many things. It's whatever works for us. It's completely subjective. It's your own rules. But I'm strongly suggesting that when you create your rules, do them within the framework of the self-serving criteria that is on the top of your screen at the moment. Okay, so I've talked about shifting my focus, change my physiology, do a gratitude exercise. So gratitude brings us back to what is most important. So maybe this big list of emails that you were thinking was the most important thing in your life actually isn't. And you are grateful for many other things. And when you shift your focus to that which really matters to you, which is the things you are grateful for in life, you get a change in perspective. Because we all feel what we focus on. We all feel what we focus on. Then I've written here, evaluate my story I am telling myself. So this is in the box there, rules I consistently avoid feeling overwhelmed by. On the fourth line there, I evaluate the story I'm telling myself. So what story are you telling yourself, and is it actually true? I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this. So overwhelmed. Or are you actually choosing to do this because it would be good for you? Because there are actually very few things we have to do when you think about it. You don't have to go to work, believe it or not. You don't have to go to work. You can live under a bridge if you like. So you are choosing to go to work because you can provide food and you can provide shelter and some entertainment and holidays for you and your family, for example. Choosing to because has a different emotional intensity for it than for most people. Then I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that, I need to go to work, I need to blah, blah, blah. Choosing to because has a, as I said, less of an emotional intensity because it doesn't feel like we're forced to do something. It feels like it's a choice because ultimately it is. Okay, the next one. Evaluate the story I am telling myself. Yeah, we can expand on that a little bit. Am I telling myself my life is out of control? Is this my story? My life is all out of control. It's completely overwhelming, when perhaps there are just some parts of it that are currently not how I want them to be. And I can create a plan and change some things. Because sometimes what often happens is we get caught up in our story. We get caught up in our story, and it's our story that overwhelms us, not the actual truth. We end up living our story instead of living the truth, instead of living our life. So we have a choice. We can even choose to see each challenge that comes our way as an opportunity for growth. And if growth is one of your moving towards pleasure values, then this will even feel good. How's that for changing the script? Because the challenges are going to come. The challenges are coming no matter what. So maybe if we learn to see them for what they are, which is an opportunity for growth, maybe we won't have such a feeling of overwhelm when they do come. We can even learn to enjoy them. So we have that choice. We can process information however we choose. It does take a lot of, it's a paradigm shift, I do appreciate, but we have that choice. And it's absolutely worth it. It's life-changing. If you start processing information differently, it's going to change how you respond. It's choosing what things mean to us. Choosing what things mean to us is our ultimate power. We can use it to empower ourselves, or we can use it to destroy ourselves. It's that powerful. I've got videos about choosing the meaning. I've got a playlist on that. Strongly suggest you check that out, because it's one of the most important things that we can come to understand and act upon to enhance the quality of our life. So this is what I'm referring to with self-serving rules. What you see on the screen there, they fit the criteria. And doing this versus having rules that are self-defeating changes your whole life experience. So it's your turn now. It's your turn. The task is this. So reevaluate your current rules for your moving away from pain values. Have a look at your rules and optimize them, which for most people will mean completely changing them to fit the criteria on the top of your screen there. The self-serving rules, the 3 points within your control, hard to feel really bad, help you be the person you want to be. So you have the criteria, you have lots of examples now, and you have the opportunity to ask questions in the chat, and I will respond to the first 10 questions as always. So nothing to stop you. You also have the opportunity to contact me direct. I have a number of coaches from different languages. We've got English, we've got French, we've got Italian, and we've got German speaking coaches. I am also available for a few sessions. So you also have that opportunity there. You can do very well with this playlist. I've given you a lot of information there, but of course, nothing beats working one-to-one with a strategic intervention coach. And that is another opportunity available for you. So nothing to stop you. Apart from all of that, thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Much appreciated. Please don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Cheers.